This is the video that literally everybody asks for, and this is the simplest guide that I can give on how anyone, literally anyone, can become a cryptocurrency millionaire. So you're saying, Elio, what do you mean I can't become a millionaire? Don't dangle this carrot in front of me. And I'm about to show you with math and statistics that I find to be pretty darn likely right here how you absolutely can. All this stuff is super risky, and as you'll see here, you can easily lose a huge chunk of your money. The way that you need to be thinking about this is a cyclical plan, especially for people who are new, maybe starting out with about 10K to spend. So the point here is that you want to pick 10 different things that you have conviction in. So as you can see, we start with $10,000. We give sort of a random multiple here between 2 and 6, 0.3, 0.5, 0.2. We have a 22x, 14x, an 8, 5, and a 10. I think these are very realistic and achievable numbers. That leaves us here with about a $68,000 total return. That's a 6.8x, and I think it's super reasonable to expect a 6.8x on your total portfolio through the end of Q4. Anyway, so let's just say that your real return here was $58,000, and then you pay about 19K in taxes on it. That leaves you with just under 50K here to actually play with as real liquid returns. And that's if you're disciplined and pull the trigger and take these sells when you get them. And then the big goal here is to wait for the crash. Crypto is a game of cycles. So if you aim for something normal like this, take those profits off the table, and then you have the patience here to play and wait for the bear market. That is where most people will not. They'll want to buy the dip at negative 20%. They'll want to buy the dip at negative 50%. If we get a true bear market, we're going to have the world freeze over to the point where buying cryptocurrency, buying altcoins in specific, will be so contrarian and so crazy sounding because everyone's only lost money for years now. That's exactly when you want to buy. You want to completely counter trade the emotional nature of the market, and then you'll have 10 different plays that you can now put $5,000 in. And if you buy at the bottom of the bear market, probably all of them will go up to a certain degree when the market returns, but some of them will go 100x and more. That is the magic. Let's go ahead and run that simulation again. So here we go. We took your 10K, we invested into 10 plays, we made a 6.8x. Then you sat on your hands. You sat on your hands for months, maybe even over a year, and you waited for things to get down to horrifically low levels. And look, I even had a bunch of these go to zero, or pretty much zero. So say these are down 80, 90%, and they somehow lose another 70%, 80%, 99%. This one just goes to literally zero. This one goes to almost zero, right? But you have 2 plays in there that do 100x. You have 2 plays in there that come back and actually deliver, build their audiences, and become a part of the future of the most important digital industry of all time. And then a couple that are really nice multiples here, 10 and 25. That's good. You can even make this more like 5, right? Doesn't matter, because these 2 out of your 10 that actually come through and rise out of the bear market a few years later will make you a millionaire. And that is the reality of this market, is taking asymmetrical bets, spreading them out, having high conviction, and holding through the bear markets, holding until the good times. You want to buy the red and sell the green. You're witnessing a market trend called L1 season. Now, emerging L1s are now trying to steal Ethereum's thunder. And what they're doing right now is they're rolling over massive incentives for their communities. This is how you build out and grow the development ecosystem, grow the user base and the development base, the developer base on your L1 chain. If you don't have developers and users, then you don't have a blockchain worth mentioning. That's why Ethereum is the king, because it has all the developers and all the users. It has network effect of both investors, developers. It's actually 3 buckets: capital, users, and developers. It's the trifecta, right? You need all 3. So what many L1s have right now is money and tech. So they have money and a good tech base, but they need developers and users. How do you get developers and users? Well, you incentivize first the developers, and then you give them enough incentive that they can incentivize the users. So you try to first spur on the developers. That is the chicken and egg issue with starting a new layer 1 blockchain. So this is the beautiful part about L1 season, mixed with now, unlike prior L1 seasons, like in 2017, where these projects were super nascent, they were super just developing and new. The reality is that these projects are now mature. They have multi-billion dollar market caps. So the ability for them to now incentivize usage and grow their communities, grow their ecosystems, it's right here on our doorstep. So what you need to know right now is that these L1s are not only in vogue by the fact that they are very easily accessible on Coinbase and these other types of mainstream exchanges, but they're also actively incentivizing usage and development on their platforms. That's why L1 season this year is going to be so powerful, because we're going to have all the noobs come in, all the retail money is going to come in, and we're also having the active incentivization of usage, development, and utility. This is one of the easiest ways you navigate. And of course, nothing is risk-free. We're going to talk about that in a second. Absolutely nothing comes without risk. So if you think you're going to navigate this and everything is safe and secure, I have news for you. You could easily lose your money. You could easily lose 80, 90%. However, if you're investing in some of these top projects here, I'm going to go ahead and show you my favorites, right? Which is Solana, AVAX, Matic, Phantom. Near is more of a shadowy bet here, but it's definitely going to have its moment because of this $800 million fund. Like, those projects will most likely, even if they crash, will come back, right? Because they have such strong networks that when crypto recovers, which it always does, 100% of the time it has recovered. Why do I know that? Because we're at all-time highs and we've crushed and crumbled many a time. So if we crumble down and you're in some of these better projects, you need to just hold, right? That's the way to do it, is you need to be prepared to hold. But when you're buying at all-time highs, especially as we'll show in just a second here, you got to be prepared to hold for potentially a while, because we don't know where the cycle top is going to be. But whenever it does happen, it will leave a lot of people very sad if they did not take profits. Because as soon as Bitcoin gets the rug pulled out and then altcoins go on their run, it'll look like Bitcoin's maybe coming back, but then all of a sudden altcoins will nuke, Bitcoin will nuke, and you'll be looking at a shadow of a portfolio that you had just days before, and you'll wish you took profits. So you got to take profits. And the goal here, as I've outlined before, should be about a 5 to 20x on your portfolio. I think shooting for any more this late in the bull run is asking for trouble. So first and foremost, let me explain why I'm doing this. Now, what many people fail to understand is one picture's pumping, the other one's dumping. They see something beautiful, an intricate piece of artwork, and it's not worth as much as a piece of pixel art, and it's just confusing. Why is one project successful and another project not? Well, the real secret here is community. And so to help you figure out where to start, I'm going to be reviewing the 5 best communities in all of NFT and helping you understand exactly why I picked these communities as ones that you'd want to join. Now, of course, just to pay respect, I'm going to start with the CryptoPunks. Launched by Larva Labs, this was a 2017 generative profile pic project, and it completely changed the game when it launched. The people in the CryptoPunks have gone on to be some of the most influential builders, evangelists, and all-around all-stars for the NFT movement. They are what you associate with in your mind when you think of diamond hands, idealists, and people who saw the future before anyone else. Next, we have the Cool Cats. Now, the Cool Cats I covered since day one when they were hovering at about 0.1 to 0.2 Ethereum in floor price, and these are some of the most lovable avatars on the blockchain. What makes Cool Cats so interesting is they're also getting a passive yield token in the form of milk that can be used to upgrade this very exciting and intricate pet system that allows for evolving pets, a lot like Pokemon, where you can spend that milk to feed your pets. It's very interesting. Next, I want to give a shout out to the Doge Pound. Now, the Doge Pound is actually a really passionate community here. They could be considered the jocks of the blockchain. They have a very kind of bro-y spirit about them. It's very good vibes, and who doesn't like a Doge? It's possibly the most iconic memery in all of NFT, given Doge the coin, and it's worth noting that the Doge founder also has Doge Pounds in his Twitter banner there, so it's been officially approved by the founder. It is approved for your consumption here, and who doesn't love it? Now, you can see here the volume signatures and price over the last several weeks. You can see the massive pumps that Doge Pound experienced when they released their puppies drop, but then you see a nice recovery and back onwards and upwards in price here. It's very nice to see this kind of rebound, and it shows that it's more than just airdrops here. It is a very genuine and diamond-handed community. And last but not least, we have the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Now, Bored Ape was technically the first, really, that caught my attention and showed me that these communities could be so much more than just JPEGs. I would go into these Twitter spaces, I'd go into these clubhouses, and I'd hear grown men making ape noises all at once for hours at a time, and they just seemed to absolutely love it. This was the first JPEG community that truly seemed to ignite the interwebs and bring a ton of people from all over the globe together through their unique vision of the future and unadulterated fun. Bored Apes went from 0.08 mint price all the way up to where they eventually peaked before the mutant ape drop at about 70 Ethereum as a floor. And this was after they attracted the likes of Stephen Curry as well as Kevin Durant as new holders. There have been few projects as good at attracting celebrities besides really CryptoPunks and Bored Apes. These have been the real mainstream gateways for NFT culture. And based on the roadmap for Bored Apes 2.0, it seems like there's a lot to look forward to as far as mainstream culture, gaming, and more. Anyone near and far needs to bow down and pay respect to what Bored Apes did for the JPEG movement and the amount of people that they onboarded, including yours truly, who was turned into a believer by sitting in on Twitter Spaces and Clubhouses that were themed around Bored Apes and being absolutely gobsmacked and jaw-dropped as to how passionate these people were. That's when I was turned into a full JPEG believer, and ever since then, the rest has been history.